Hey everybody, thanks for watching a video on G4G. Today we're in Marvel Strike Force and we're going to open some Hela orbs and hopefully we're going to have a hell of a good time. Yes? Hela, get it? Yeah, okay. So one thing you may notice over here is that this is the newest version of BlueStacks that it wanted me to update to a couple days ago, because you'll see there's little text prompts around the screen over here. These were not done by me. These were actually programmed into BlueStacks when I ran the update. So like I can hit F1 and then that's back. I can hit F1 again and I get a profile. Not too sure what Q is doing over there. W is roster. So not like everything is laid out. I mean, some things seems weird, like there's this random 1 over here, but 2 is actually in the right spot. So I just wanted to point that out. If you update your BlueStacks, that seems to be where this is coming from. And I just updated. I don't know why Daily Objectives is saying that I have something here. And as a reminder now, guys, like, your shit cuts off at midnight, not 1 o'clock in the morning if you're Eastern time. So yeah, I don't know why the games don't exactly follow when daylight savings time comes and goes. DC Legends is another one that does that. During daylight saving time, it cuts off at 8, or it flips over at 8, which is really, really good, because there are times when I, like, come home from work and I'm continuing to do my dailies in DC Legends, and if I'm cooking or something like that, or if I forget it a little bit, the 8 o'clock time gives me a little bit of recovery, like, oh crap, I gotta do stuff. This 7 o'clock, man, I've definitely messed up a few times this week. But anyway, let's open some Hela orbs and see what we get, and then talk about her and her kit and where she goes and everything like that. So first, I'm just going to catch up on a few regular orbs that I want to knock out. And then we'll get to the Hela ones. So I'm not claiming the gold ones right now because my gold is actually good. That's why it's this high. I don't know how it got that high. I think it was during that gold month or something like that. They just built up. And since I'm not running low right now, I'm not going to do it. What's cool about my Ultimus orbs is now, aside from Wolverine every day for free, giving me shards towards an Ultimus orb, I can go over to, I think it is Arena? No, it's Blitz. Yeah, I can cash out on Gamora and build up charges towards Gamora, towards Ultimus off of Gamora, so I can get about 10 a day. Instead of, well, you know, double the amount other than just the Wolverine amount, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of a free way of getting what has been classically considered to be a whale tune. Yeah, so when I said 10, I meant 5 from Gamora, 5 from Wolverine. It's actually 180 shards, so it's, you know, it's literally double the speed. That's pretty cool. Alright, so let's get to the Hela orbs. We know we'll probably unlock her with the 8. It's just a matter of how lucky we get. So there's 12 out of the 45. That's already a good start. If we can unlock her and then immediately rank her up, that's cool. A really good start over here. 2 pulls and we're pretty much halfway there. Alright, and some blues. That's good. So 2 for 3 have been good. 3 for 4 have been good. She's going to be unlocked halfway there, which is really nice. So there's the unlock, which is cool. And we'll leave her for a moment. And as you can see, I still have 3 left, so everything's gravy from here. And now we're starting to get the weak pulls in. Another good one. And the last pull. So not bad at all. Half of those were really good. Nothing particularly legendary, but I think we can rank her up a star after unlocking her. Ah, no, halfway there. Okay, pretty cool. So, she is villain, she's cosmic, she's mystic, she's a controller, and she's Asgardian. So, I do believe she has some benefits with Mordo and Loki. Let's take a look real quick before we really dive into her kit. There are some people that have some passives that I think are going to work well with her. So Mordo, we know, likes mystics. On the death of any character, heal self for 5% of his character's max health. On the death of a mystic, heal the self for 10% of the characters. And now we get some supernatural things going on over here, which is pretty cool. So I've been holding off on this one because his group wasn't super mystic heavy. It had Doctor Strange in it, but it's going to be worth an upgrade now. And I think Loki gets some stuff too. Speedbar Mystic Controller allies, so yeah. That's going to be good for Loki. That's also going to be good for Hela. So let's classify her as an Asgardian and find her that way. So as you can see, we only have 3 Asgardians at the moment. It certainly remains to be seen what we round out the roster with. Maybe Heimdall could be in there, and maybe Sif. So we have a villain. We have a Mystic Controller out of Asgardian. We have another Mystic Controller. We have a Mystic Blaster. So maybe Heimdall could be a Protector. And then maybe Sif could be a Brawler. It'd be interesting. You'd have 3 heroes, 2 villains in that. Odin might be a little over the top. However, we are going to be dealing with Mr. Sinister. We have Ultron in there. I still think they're going to classify Odin's power levels higher than that. So Odin's probably going to be a little bit too high. Maybe Sif and Heimdall. That would certainly make a lot of sense. Maybe they would go another villain route and give us Surtur. But again, that's God level-ish. I don't know. And Heimdall at times has been billed as a protector. He was a bruiser in Marvel Avengers Alliance. But in Marvel Avengers Alliance 2, he was considered a tactician. In Marvel Future Fight, he's considered a universal, but he's not really like a protector or anything. He's just kind of a brawler. Now, Marvel Avengers Alliance did something very interesting with Heimdall. They gave him True Sight, which basically meant he had the ability to negate stealth. That could be a thing that this game gets. I mean, we had heals, and then we had heal breakage, and then we had buffs, and then we had disrupted, which removed the buffs. Or, well, not removed them, but, prevented the buffs from going out. It could be that we finally get a counter other than Hawkeye, a true counter to stealth that allows you to single target stealthy people even when they're stealth. Now, that is cooked into some people's kits tied to an ability, but if Heimdall's on the field, it would be very interesting if it's like all Asgardians can target stealthy enemies. And call it Foresight, or I forget exactly what it was called in Avengers Alliance. But actually, let's go find out. I forgot the name of it here. How exactly they worded it. But it was basically a passive. So, Farsight. There it is. Mostly negates preemptive counterattacks. So that could be cool. If he was to bring a kind of a combo breaker ability that if somebody was to counter a member of your team, he stops the counter. So he kind of did a talk to the hand move in Marvel Avengers Alliance. It was like a halt, and he would stop counters before they would go. And then he was Asgardian, so he was immune to burning, chill, poison, radiation. This game doesn't go that way, but Farsight, most enemy attacks cannot be stealthy. That would be pretty cool if, somebody was allowed to get stealth on them, but he just negated the fact that stealth even goes out. Like, they would just be completely targetable as if they weren't stealthy. And then Sif pretty much had the best legs in the entire game. She had her classic kit, and then she had a modern kit, which was kind of based on the movies. She was a scrapper as a default. Yes, a scrapper as a default, and a bruiser and a scrapper in her armor. So she was never a protector, but alternate uniforms always kind of gave them another class. They didn't just give them the same exact class with updated visuals. They always gave a secondary class, and what made sense for her was to be a bruiser, but she was never really a protector. She basically had sword attacks. None of them, one of them did bleeds. You would think all of them would, but she gave fortified to the team. She had crits for the first few rounds of combat. She weakened people, she bled them, and she also made them take extra damage from bleeding and extra damage from slashing attacks. Marvel Strike Force doesn't have that, so chances are she may cause bleeding on one, maybe give the team like attack up and defense up or something, and I don't even know what an ultimate would be. She was very single target oriented in Marvel Avengers Alliance. Heimdall, on the other hand, he did have some AoE. So Ho-Fun was a single target. Vigilance was the one that made everybody not able to counterattack, and they were also exhausted, so they couldn't do follow-up attacks. And Uru Blade was the one that hit everybody. And Yallarhorn changed the field into the Bifrost graphic, and it basically gave everybody all of the combat strengthening buffs: agile, focused, fortified, and strengthened. So I don't think they would have Sif and Heimdall doing buffs like that, but potentially he could do a strength up, and then Sif could do a defense up or something, or vice versa. If they make him a tank, he could do defense up and Sif do offense up. And maybe one of them could say they have a passive if offense up and defense up are both on an Asgardian, something happens. I don't know. But anyway, let's take a look at Hela. Black Blade. Attack the primary target for damage. Chance to flip deathproof on a target. Attack the most injured target for 40% piercing and ignoring taunt. So this is now the third person in the game who can work around a taunt. Of course, you had one of Deadpool's abilities, and now you have Elsa doing it, and now you have Hela. Which is really cool about the fact that Hela can do it is that it's on her primary. So that is a ability that does not have a cooldown in any way, shape, or form. Having it be on her primary is different from everybody else, which is pretty cool. That means she can continually do it, and if you have to get somebody off the field and finish them off, she's definitely the one who can do it, whereas Deadpool and Elsa, you have to have that ability up. So that means combat with Hela requires a little bit less planning. You kind of know if you've got Deadpool on your team, you walk around that ability in the hopes of using it when it's needed. You don't want to burn it when everybody's all at 75% health or something. It's kind of useless. You want to try and hit it when you get the regenerate off of them. Similar to when Gamora uses her ultimate, you kind of want to make sure you kill somebody with it so you get the extra turn. Hopefully you get the 2 extra turns where you use the level 2 right after it, and then get another extra turn. So, as we escalate Black Blade, The damage goes up. You have a higher chance to flip Death Proof into an Always. And then at the orange level, more damage, more piercing to the most injured. This is definitely one I would take orange all the way. If you absolutely positively must kill that safe behind the taunt motherfucker across the room, she's going to be the one to do it. So I say, why not orange her? Unless you're really desperate for mats. This is one where I think a basic ability is really good for an orange. Command Undead. Attack the primary target for 120% damage. Apply Disrupted. Gain an assist from an Undead Asgardian. So that's her Draugr summons that she's always portrayed with. We have a reduction in the energy cost, and then eventually at the orange level, disrupted for 2 turns. Hey, not bad. If you can get disrupted for 2 turns on a target and prevent them from taunting or maybe going stealth or something like that, I think that's worth an orange, as it's one of the rare ones in the game that can do 2 turns of disrupted. Here we have Death Knives. Clear a death proof from all enemies. Gain a ton of extra focus. Attack all enemies for 130% damage. Apply regeneration to all non-summoned Asgardian allies. Right now that's 2 of them. Damage goes up. Clear 2 death proofs. Spread 2 negative effects from the primary to all secondary. Clear 3 death proofs. I can't imagine who would have 3. Again, this sounds good for an orange. It sounds like just about everything she has is orange worthy so far. So it may actually come down to which is more important to you rather than which one's good and which one's bad. It might actually be just simply what order you want to do it. What do you deem to be more important? And perhaps that's where the community will come in from. Somebody like Casino or something might have that kind of information. And then finally her passive, Goddess of Death. So she spawns with an undead Asgardian. On an undead Asgardian's death, summon an undead Asgardian. On her turn, she heals herself for 5% of her max health and max health per non-summoned Asgardian ally. Right now, that's 2 of them. Gain max health per non-summoned Asgardian on war defense. Gain 5% damage for self and Asgardian allies. This one finally might not be the most orange worthy unless you were using her in war defense. Finally, we have something that maybe isn't top of the line important. Again, unless you're using her on war defense, maybe then that would be important. But if you're just using her as more of a PvE character, then perhaps that's not the most important thing. So, what would probably be her best team? Well, right now, Asgardians aren't flushed out enough. I don't think she needs to work with Thor. I think she needs to work with Loki and other mystics. Let's take a look at just mystics again. And let's see. Controllers, it might only be... Okay, well, there you go. Here are mystic controllers. Kind of a weird setup over here. You could throw in Mordo, Scarlet Witch, Loki, and Hela. That's 3 people for Mordo to work with. That's 3 people for Loki to work with. That's 1 person for Hela to work with over here. Yeah, everything is Asgardian with her. She's sort of minorly crippled not having Thor there, but is it really worth it to maybe take Thor out off an Avengers team or something like that and put one little extra Asgardian to go with Hela, whereas these 4 right here would make for a pretty good team. She's got summons that may take the heat. He's got some summons, and he's got like the invisibility and everything. She's got to heal basically in the deflect. He's going to be healing when people are dying. I mean, forgetting Hand Assassin Nobu and Ronin, I'm just ignoring them for this right now. This 4-pack is not too bad. And if you were to, say, throw in Doctor Strange over here or something, not a bad team. I like the fact that Fox Next is messing the teams up just a little bit. And I mean, yeah, even though Elsa really needs supernaturals, she is a mystic also. But she's not a controller or anything. She'd help out Mordo, but she wouldn't really help out anybody else. Yondu's not really going to fit with them. Juggernaut's not going to fit with them. He's going to be on a Brotherhood. Thanos, however, can round out the roster. If you had Thanos, Mordo, Loki, Scarlet Witch, and Hela, Thanos provides the tanking while everybody else controls the battlefield and does the damage. None of these other guys really fit. Black Panther goes more for brawlers or Wakandans. Thor, I mean, I just don't think it's worth trying to shoehorn him in on an Asgardian team right now. Loki, on the other hand, has a double benefit. So that certainly makes sense. Yeah, Thanos, Loki, Scarlet Witch, Mordo, and Hela doesn't sound like a bad team. It really doesn't. I mean, that's a lot of protection in there, with the fact that Loki hides everybody except for his clones. And then, you know, the AI might just pick one of the undead Asgardian, and then the undead Asgardian's going to pop right back up again when it's killed. Not a bad team. I sort of have a derivative of it right now that's built up. So primary team is still these guys. This is just old school. This is an AoE heavy team. We have 2 shields, we have 2 mystic, and then we have him for the Alu Akbar. This is a brawler team anchored by Storm's passives and Captain Marvel's passives. This is my Brotherhood team, where Kingpin was standing in for Magneto, but Magneto I finally have unlocked. This is my Spider-Verse team. My Green Goblin is way too high for my Sinister Six, so he's not there. This is... Oh, no, I'm sorry. This was just a high-level... This was a villain campaign team right here. This is my Brotherhood team with Kingpin standing in as Magneto, but Magneto is on the way up. This is the Mystic team that I have. You can take out Doctor Strange and drop Hela in there, and then this team is functional. And then I'm only sharing Mordo outside of this team. Yeah, because I don't use this team, so I wouldn't be sharing Loki. That's my Kree team. This is my Power Armor Tech team. This is my Sinister Six with Punisher standing in for Green Goblin. This is my Hand team. This is my Brawler team for America Chavez. And then this is my AIM team. My AIM team is unfortunately way too low for my Scientist Supreme, who was my Scientist Supreme was way jacked up before AIM became good. I had faith in Scientist Supreme, and she was part of a debuff team, and they did really good. But yeah, I can't wait till AIM gets up to the same levels as Scientist Supreme. I don't know who I would drop out of that team, though. And that's another thing you can do. You don't necessarily have to go into Mystics. You could just work with debuffs. And the fact that she spreads them, you can have somebody like Scientist Supreme, Venom, Scarlet Witch, Hela, and then somebody else who causes a good amount of debuffs like Mordo and Doctor Strange. That's certainly a possibility. Or, you know, Quake. Quake does a lot of key debuffs like slow and everything like that. She removes buffs. You could have Quake, Scientist Supreme, Hela, and then two other big debuff people like Mordo and Doctor Strange, or Mordo and Venom, or something like that. I like the fact that they're mixing things up a little bit, and it's not just a whole bunch of brain dead. Oh, well, they have this label. They're all Guardians. I'm going to put the Guardians together. They're all X-Men. I'm going to put the X-Men together. Or all S.H.I.E.L.D. It's nice to see some teams that aren't just a team spearheaded by a giant entity, like here's S.H.I.E.L.D. with Nick Fury as the big entity, or here's Hand with Nobu as the big entity. Diversity is good, and diversity that is thinking with your brain rather than just following a label, I think is a lot of fun. So getting there on the people that I need to unlock. Fury still needs an unlock, but I think I can get him the next time around. Phoenix, I'm not too sure about. Invisible Woman probably could do the next time around. Coulson just kind of plodding along. Ultimus plodding along, and I have not done any of the fear of the darkness dimension over there. Not even tried. I don't think I would last a few minutes. Never really bought into the Defenders, which is why my Jessica Jones is so low. I could probably do them cheaply, but my Defenders are scattered about through my roster. My Iron Fist, you can see here, he's super low. But then the rest of my Defenders actually do somewhat okay. Punisher's up there. My Daredevil's really up there. My Luke Cage is okay. It'd really be Iron Fist and bland-ass Jessica, who I've never liked in any of the games that she's been in. I've kind of had a decent focus on Psylocke lately. I wouldn't mind getting her up into my X-Men range. The thing is, I don't know who I would take out for her. In this weird X-Men brawler hybrid team. They have a lot of extra attacks, so they're pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for checking out the video, guys. I just wanted to go over Hela with you guys and her abilities, do the unlock. We also can win her shards now in Blitz, which is pretty cool. And then the Miss Marvel Blitz just recently wrapped up. So let me know what you think of Hela, and let me know what you're thinking of planning for her team. Are you going to hold her off until there's more Asgardians? What Asgardians do you think we'll get? Or are you going to try to wrap her into some Mystic teams, because she's got synergy with other Mystics and definitely has tremendous synergy with Loki right now. I mean, that's a lot, just her and Loki alone. That's a lot of clones out on the battlefield. Why not run another clone team like her and Loki and Nobu? That's clones for days. Let me know what you think, everybody. Have a good one.